a lot of us are, worried and stressed out about finances right now. And we're overwhelmed with it, overwhelmed with bills and all of these things. And we're trying to figure out what we need to do to end the overwhelm, to end the financial stress. And one of the things we need to do is we need to start with our mindset. And that's why I'm so excited to have this lady here. She is a licensed financial advisor. She has her Series 6, her Series 63, her life license, and she has been in the financial services industry for over 20 years. She loves coaching people on their mindset and getting them the results that they need and that they want so they can live the lifestyle that they are wanting to live. So I am happy and excited to welcome to Money Moves Monday, licensed financial advisor, Alicia Stewart. Welcome, Lish.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here on this Money Moves Monday. So I like to get it popping. I like to jump right in and get it started. So the first thing I'm going to ask you for this webinar, the Money Mindset Secret, how to change your relationship with money in 30 days. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what is a common mistake or a popular myth surrounding mindset and money?
A common mistake is that people don't seem to realize that what they think and what they say will directly impact, will directly hinder all aspects of your life. And that also includes your finances. So if you are sitting here thinking, this is going to always be my life. This is always going to be how I live. You're absolutely right, because you believe that, you're speaking it. And so it's like, the more you say that to yourself, the more you're going to stay in that position and potentially get even worse.
Okay. So what you think is what it is.
Exactly.
Okay. So why then is it so important to have specifically a money mindset when it comes to trying to figure out how to work through overwhelm or financial stress or financial trauma, right? Why is it so important? Why is the money mindset so important?
And it kind of goes back to what I was just saying, right? It's like, the more you hold yourself hostage, because you're literally holding yourself hostage. And so it's like, the more you hold yourself hostage, believing that things aren't going to change, as long as you do not allow yourself to be open to the possibility of life can get better and life will get better, you're going to stay there. And so it's just very important to get yourself out of that position, to get yourself around like-minded people, because if your circle is full of people who think the way that you think, you're going to stay there. And again, so it's just very important to realize, what does your circle look like? What are you saying to yourself? What are you allowing yourself to think? People don't realize the thoughts that go through our head on an everyday basis, on a regular basis. And so even if you're not speaking it out loud, as long as you think it, you're going to stay where you're at. You have to get yourself out of that habit.
Okay. So let's say I'm someone who is a spender.
Yes.
Right? I spend money. What types of things do I need to think or, believe? What should I be doing mentally to help myself go from being someone who is a spender and I want to be a saver?
Really, I like to tell people, one, you got to think about, do I really need this object? Why am I out here spending? Is this something that I need, or is it something that I want? And because a lot of times we spend because we're bored. We spend because we're sad. We spend because we're happy. We spend because we want to celebrate. And we put ourselves in these predicaments. We spend because we want to keep up with the Joneses. And so we're putting ourselves in these predicaments without taking a second to be like, wait, Is this something that I need, or is this something that I want? Is this something that can wait? Do I have to have it right now? And if you're just constantly just out here spending without thinking about it first, you're going to get yourself in that habit of spending more than you're saving. So it's really just getting yourself in that habit of taking a beat, taking a pause, and deciding, is this something that I need? Is this something that I want? I speak of it all the time. Have a play money account. Because if you have a play money account, then you can spend as much as you want as long as it's in your play money account. But that helps you to be able to save, but also be able to spend and not feel like you're so restricted.
Okay. So what do I do to get a play money account? What does that look like?
Baby. So it's literally however much you want. So what we do is we take a look at your money, right? We take a look at what's coming in, what's going out. A budget is so fundamental for that reason. You know, people a lot of times again think that a budget is meant to restrict you, but it's really you taking that power and telling your money where to go. So we figure out, okay, what money's coming in, what money's going out, how much money can you fit within your budget to put into that spending account, that play account every month. Because I believe that you shouldn't have to live frugally. You should not have to live a frugal lifestyle if you don't want to. And we create that number, you create that number, and we figure out how we can make it work.
Okay. So I want to have I want to have $15,000 in my play account. How am I getting there? Right? What am I doing wrong?
So we gotta right. So we gotta take a look at what's the money coming in. So if you only bringing in $1,500 and you want to spend $15,000, right? If you have to figure out how to bring that extra money in, because you have two options, right? You can either cut expenses or bring in more income. Those are your only two options that I know of, at least. So we have to figure out, how can we bring in that extra money? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are you good at? Well, we can then go out and see how you can serve, how you can provide value to be able to then help other people while you're helping yourself at the same time. In my book, that's a win-win. When you're providing value, you're serving others and you're serving yourself too. That's a win-win.
Okay. So can I just set my mindset? I can't just set my mindset that I'm gonna have in my play money account. I gotta do some work. That's what you tell me.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It's one thing to have the desire. It's another thing to put that desire into action. Faith without works is dead.
All the way.
All the way.
All the way. Okay, so tell me this: what in your mind, in your opinion, is a money mindset? We hear that all the time. You got to have a money mindset. What exactly is a money mindset? What is that?
It's really believing that money is easily obtained. It's believing that, not having the mindset of, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Having that mindset of, being what we call sometimes hood rich, where you're overspending but you don't have the actual money to support what you want. It's having that desire and believing that what you want you can obtain, with the little asterisk of, as long as you're willing to put in the work to achieve that desire. But you have to believe it. If you do not believe that you can have that money is an energy, because that's what it really is. At the end of the day, money is a piece of paper. We put the power in the money. Our belief in the money is why it's valuable, right? And so if you do not believe that it is obtainable, money comes to me easily and frequently. If you're not believing that, you're not going to be able to obtain something that you don't even believe you are worthy. Some people don't even feel like they're worthy to have it. So if you don't feel like your value is high enough to have it and obtain it, you're not going to be able to get it.
Right. Absolutely. I think, therefore I am, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling us that there's a money mindset secret. And once we learn this secret, we can change our relationship with money in 30 days, right?
Yes.
So, number one, what types of relationships do people typically have with money? Like, are there specific names for them? Like, what is that typically? The types of relationships there.
So like kind of like what I was saying before, where it's like, you use it as a way to make you feel better, right? You're using it as a way to celebrate and you're overspending. Or are you using it as a way to say that, again, it's going to flow to me easily as long as I put in the work, as long as I'm serving, as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. There is no way that it can't come back to me. So it's just making sure that you have this belief and understanding that you can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you desire, money included, but you have to first believe. And again, I keep saying it, but it's so imperative that people get that part. You got to believe it, but you also got to put in the work to get it there. You can't just sit and hope and pray and wish that it's going to fall into your lap. Right. And so just having that relationship of, again, believing that it's possible and not abusing it, because a lot of times we abuse it. So just getting a good understanding. And this is where sometimes you have to kind of take a step back and be quiet and really think about your own spending habits. Right. Are you in a lot of debt? Okay, what got you there? What was that situation? A lot of times it stems from childhood. Some people, they grow up without having. And so they're like, as soon as they get money, it's like they're spending it because they never had a sense of security growing up. Right. Some people, they felt like, their parents took advantage of the money that they had, that they made on their own. And so because of it, they're spending it as soon as they get it. So sometimes you got to look all the way back to childhood and say, what framed my dynamic to this point right here to make me be where I am today? We got to go back before we can go forward.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've experienced and that I've had to work with people to break through is so many people put the amount of money they have or they don't have as the amount of value that they bring into this world.
Absolutely.
Right? So just, I see a lot where people really need to learn how to detach themselves from money as far as their own value.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
What would you do, or what steps would you take to work with someone like that? Like, what would be the first step that you would take to try to help someone detach themselves from their value, the thoughts that they have of themselves, or the worth that they have of themselves, and how it's attached to money? How would you detach them from that?
That's a good question. Again, it's getting to the root, right? You say it all the time, pulling back the layers, right? The layers of that onion, but getting to the root, that's the first thing, right? Because we have to understand, where did it stem from? We don't want to put a Band-Aid. We can't put a Band-Aid on things. Sometimes I feel like that's the immediate response, is throw a Band-Aid on it and keep going. But we have to get to the root cause of what got you here to begin with. And we have to unbundle that and unpack that so that they can then start seeing for themselves, right? You and I had this conversation before, where sometimes people don't even recognize that there's a problem that exists, that is festering. So helping them to see, okay, how did we get here to begin with? Helping them to then start to segment out, right? Okay, here's all the different things that got me here. And one by one, working through every last one of those, because the things that got us there will keep us there if we're not looking to fix it, to reverse it, and to get it out and then replace it, right? Because that's the other thing, is like, once we start digging out, pulling the roots out, we have to replace it. So then replacing it, reversing those thoughts, reversing those how did Uncle Bob say it? I can't think of the word, but
Bob. She's
Uncle
talking
Bob.
about Bob Proctor.
Yes,
Bless his, God
Bob
rest his
Proctor,
soul.
God rest
Uncle
his
Bob.
soul. But the paradigms, that's what it is, right? Just kind of, we have to get to the root of that, and then replacing those with new paradigms, with new thoughts and beliefs.
Yes, I love that. So with this money mindset secret and them changing their relationship with money in 30 days, can you break down the steps of what they need to do in order to change their relationship with money in 30 days?
Yes. So I am a big proponent, I'm a big believer of, you have to quiet your mind, you have to journal. So a lot of it has to do with, and this is going to be, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this is part of the homework, is because we are always going, right? We're always hustling and bustling. We don't have time where we're quiet. And I truly believe that's part of the problem. So it's taking some time to quiet your mind, quiet your soul, and to reflect back on just today, right? What are some of the things that I did today that I could change? And really start journaling, especially when it comes to money, right? Even if it's not just today, look over this past month and reflecting on what are the things that you purchased, right? You can look at your bank statement and see that. What are the things that you purchased that are needs versus wants? Quantify that, right? Because we're talking about money mindset, but we have to sometimes look at the numbers. We have to look at it in black and white. What was my overspending? What was it that I purchased? Why did I purchase that? There are so many times people are going through and they're like, my paycheck is gone and I don't even know, I don't have anything to show for it. Mm-hmm. So really taking a moment to go through, comb through. But even if you can't do that in the immediate, just taking 5 minutes to be still. If you aren't comfortable being in the peace and quiet, go to YouTube, look up meditative music, put that music on, and just sit and reflect on your spending habits. Reflect on, again, childhood. What is it? What are the things that occurred over your life that have you believing what you believe now? And journal that. Begin to journal and write those things down, because once you see it in black and white, you can then begin to see, okay, here's the areas that I need to improve on. Here's the areas that I need to fix. That's where I come in, right? Is to help you then work through those problems. So it's really working together as a team but it's homework for you, right? To be able to take a look, reflect, write it down. We then come together and we start working on those one by one to get to the point where you have switched your thought process, you have switched your mindset to be more intentional, to be more cognizant of the thoughts that you think, the words that you speak, and those habits that you have, those spending habits that we can then begin to start reversing. And again, because we have that Play Money account, you don't feel like you're so restricted. You can still do some of that spending, but you're just keeping yourself a little bit more contained, a little bit more disciplined.
Got you. That's definitely a huge part of it as well. That accountability, right? That self-accountability,
yes,
and that discipline. So you were breaking it down. So it sounds like the major piece of it is to journal your thoughts. Yeah. Okay. So as you already said, as coaches, we love to give homework assignments, something that's tangible, something that they can do right now to start to bring about some change right now. So apparently journal is one of them. What else would you suggest as a homework assignment for them so they can start to see some changes within these first couple of days of those 30 days?
Yes, affirmations are so powerful. I really believe those are underestimated. And again, like I was saying, where you have to replace what we're pulling out. So if it's something as simple as, I deserve to live a life of abundance, it can be something as simple as that. But I challenge everyone to also, you can use that, but find one on your own, whether you need to do like Google money affirmations. But it's very important to Read those, but not only read those, speak those out to yourself. You can say that, it takes a couple of seconds. I also recommend that you do it when you wake up and when you go to bed. And if you're really feeling froggy, do it on your lunch hour as well, because it's like you can never overdo it. But minimum in the morning when you first wake up, when you're giving thanks, and please give thanks. Gratitude is so important. Mm-hmm. And if all you can do is say, thank you for waking me up today, that is gratitude. But as you're saying, thank you for waking me up, and I also deserve to live a life full of abundance. Just those little things people don't realize, those make a difference. And you may not believe it in the beginning, but the more you say it and the more you keep yourself open, you will find that you will immediately start seeing opportunities, and you'll start seeing that things are, I don't even know how to put it, but just to say, you'll just start being more aware of just the good things that are around you on a regular basis. Sometimes we focus so much on the negative that we don't give the praise to the things that are positive in our lives on a daily basis.
Yes. Yes.
And then one final thing is get connected with like-minded people. You either have a circle or you have a cage, and it's up to you to decide which one you want to be in. And if you feel like your people are more of a cage and not a circle, I highly, highly recommend that everyone gets connected to a group of like-minded individuals who are on the same path of looking to better their lives financially, mentally, spiritually, because then that's just another opportunity to lift you up and to lift each other up all at the same time.
Love it. Get inside of the circle, not the cage, y'all.
Yes.
Love it. Alicia, thank you so much for being here on this Money Moves Monday and giving us the secret to improve our relationship with money in 30 days. Y'all can get a hold of Alicia, so her link will be in the description of this video. You can schedule with Lish if you want to talk more with her about money mindset. But remember, journal, affirmations, and quiet your mind. I'll see y'all next week for Money Moves Monday. Have a good night, y'all.